Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another part to Let's Play Dark Souls 2 with Fireheart2K, your host. Okay guys, so in the last part, I fought the last giant, which is the final boss that's in the area of the Forest of Fallen Giants, and then in this part, I'm going to be exploring around the area of the Heide's Tower of Flame, and fighting actually two bosses in this section, one of which is my favorite in Dark Souls 2. So you guys will be in for a bit of a treat here. Now, my favorite boss in this game, like I said, is not like the most difficult boss in this game. I just like him because I think he looks freaking cool, the music is great when you fight him and all that. Also, hilariously enough, right when I was about to start this recording, I actually fell. Oh god, this guy is coming right in front of me. Okay, hello, hello. But yeah, first thing you want to do here, typically, is you just want to deal with this guy, so you'll have some room to activate that bonfire. Now, if you have a mace like me, and if you're fast enough, you actually can kill him with 2 or 3 hits right in between his attack animations. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to rest at this bonfire for a minute, which is Heide's Ruin. And then I'm going to head straight up here, deal with this guy again. Hello. How are you? Oh, he hit me. So yeah, we'll just get rid of him really quickly. There we go. But yeah, so you want to deal with him, and then this guy up here with the huge hammer, you definitely need to watch out for. He has a ground pound attack, like that, and he actually will slam his hammer into the ground 3 times. Now he does have a 1 and a 2 hit combo as well, but he actually has a 3 hit combo in which the 3rd attack is delayed. There's also that as well, which just I got hit from, but that's okay. Oh, shoot. He's taking some swings at me. I'm gonna use my Estus Flask really quickly. Hello, buddy. And there we go. Okay. Now, once you kill this guy, you actually won't have to deal with him again. He is only in this little area once. Now, you will run into another guy with a hammer in this section later, I believe. But besides that guy, I think there's only one more. Alright. So let's head up here and deal with this dude. Come on, take your swings. I love all the character design in Dark Souls 2 though, even if this game is technically supposed to be kind of easier than 1 because it's a little bit more accessible to new players. It still is so much fun, and all the characters are really nicely designed. I mean, all the enemies anyway. So this whole area is kind of cool. So you'll notice after killing that guy, this little kind of lever pulled up. Now, what you can do with this thing is that you can actually pull it, and then you guys will notice over there a huge new ring has popped up and expanded the stage down here. So basically, to make that the boss fight that's going to occur over in that area, which we'll get to in this part, you want to make sure you find all of these levers, and I'm going to show you guys where they are. And what you want to do is you want to defeat the enemies that are around these levers, and then once you defeat the enemies, you want to pull the levers so you can expand the stage in which you're going to have your inevitable boss fight later in the part of this area. And then that way, it'll make the whole boss fight easier because you'll have more room to maneuver and things like that. Oh, you know what? I just remembered, this guy is the one who has the 3-hit combo, I think. Alright, so now that I've killed him, I'm going to deal with these guys. You want to try to, when you're up against multiple enemies, especially guys like these, you want to try to take them down one at a time if possible. I'm having a little bit of difficulty doing that right now, but luckily I managed to get them both in the same attack animation, so because of that, they both had a long recovery time. And there we go. Managed to take both of them out. Fantastic. Now, I don't want to actually waste an Estus Flask, so I'm going to use a life gem to heal myself. And now that I've killed them, one more of those pedestals has popped up. Now, I believe there's actually one more of these that'll come up. I can't actually remember for the life of me, but or maybe this is the last one. I think there's only 2. Yeah, there's only 2 of these. Okay, so after you pull these 2 levers, you really just need to go down here. Now, there is another direction you can go up here, but don't do that just yet, because that's where the boss... That's where another boss is, and he's actually, of the 2 bosses you fight, is probably the harder of the 2. So don't go over there yet. Just head on over here and go and fight this boss over here first, and then deal with that guy later. Because also, once you defeat this boss, if you go up to the 2nd level of the tower, you're going to find a bonfire, so you can heal there. And the other boss that's up in that cathedral actually doesn't have a bonfire. I love how so many people have died here. All these little bloodstains in the ground are actually, like, impressions that people have left when they died. I'm really surprised that people have died in this area. Or at least in this area especially, because it's only one dude. But like, this is kind of cool. If you haven't played Dark Souls before, you can actually click on these things, and it'll show you like an echo of the person, and it'll show you kind of how they died. You won't see what they fought, which makes, in some situations, it makes it kind of scary, because like if you haven't played the game before, and there's an area you're kind of new to, and you know, you click on one of these things and you see someone die some kind of like horrible gruesome death, or it looks like they're getting like massacred, you're kind of like, oh god, there's something really hard here, I gotta be careful, which is kind of awesome. Alright, so let's actually equip my Heide Knight Sword. Now this guy that you're going up against is just like any normal boss, and I find that using the Heide Knight Sword is actually more effective against him than using the mace. So we're gonna enter the mist and fight him. This is gonna be the Dragon Rider. Now the Dragon Rider is actually quite easy. The best way to fight him is actually to stay as close as possible. I am going to take a bit of damage there because I kind of messed up, but that's okay. He has, the only attacks you really have to worry about when you're close to him are going to be his swing attacks. Like that. Now I'm going to heal really quickly. He does have a lot of reach, which is the one reason you really want to actually stay mainly close to him for the most part. Like you can see there, he's got a bunch of reach. And when you stay right behind him, what'll usually happen is that he'll pretty much always be guaranteed to miss you, like that. The only attacks you really have to be worried about are when he does the sweeping attacks, but the main way to dodge them is that you just roll under them right as they come at you. And I messed up the first time, that's why he hit me. So I'm just going to roll there, and you can see here he missed me. Oh, and I don't have any stamina, so I got hit there. That's okay though. Come on, Dragon Rider, let's see what you got. I do like his shield a lot. I sometimes like to get it by using his soul with the shop vendor that you can use later. Ooh, he almost hit me there. That was close. What you got? Come on, what you got, Dragon Rider? And because I actually have the stone ring, you guys will notice I managed to actually knock him off guard there, which you usually can't do without it, unless your strength is high enough to where you have enough poise damage. But yeah, Dragon Rider is pretty easy. You just kind of stay close to him, try to stay behind him as much as you can, and then you just roll around whenever he uses his sweeping attacks, and then you can pretty much easily kill him. Now, I'm not going to be using his soul to get any of his his shield, which is actually, you can use the Dragon Rider soul to get his shield, or to get a kind of like a twin blade. It's kind of like Darth Maul's like lightsaber, except it's in blade form. It's pretty cool looking, but this, I'm not going to be using a twin blade with this guy. I like the twin blade, but at the same time I don't think it's that effective, so I'm not going to be using it. So, alright, so we're going to go up here, and I am going to light this bonfire, and then go talk to this woman. Now, this woman is actually a cleric, and if you are playing as a clerical character in the game, like a paladin or just like a straight-up healer who's going to be using a lot of faith and using a lot of clerical spells, this is the woman you got to talk to.
I have come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. But the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide.
So, you can talk to Listia here, and you can actually buy a Sacred Chime, which will, as a cleric, if you're being kind of a clerical character, you can use the Sacred Chime as a medium to cast all of your faith spells, your miracles. You can also grab from her a Ring of Prayer, which is kind of cool. It increases your faith by a lot, but it also costs 28,000 souls, so you really have to decide whether or not that's worth it. And then she's also got a nice plethora of different spells. So you guys can see that she's actually got the Lightning Spear, which you need 22 faith to use, which is also, it's kind of, that's for a cleric player, that's kind of like your bread and butter, because the Lightning Spear actually does quite a lot of damage. But I don't plan on being a cleric. I'm either going to be, like I said, a tank spellcaster, or I'm just going to be a straight up tank kind of guy who just hits things as hard as he can. But I am going to talk to her as much as possible, and then exhaust her conversation chain.
And being, I expected without any going to a place. Sorry.
So, once you finish her conversation chain and she mentions she's going to be heading on, once you actually pray here, or I'm sorry, prey. Once you rest here, you'll notice she's disappeared. And she'll actually be back in Majula at a place where you'll be needing her later, because you're actually going to need to talk to her to actually access one of the later areas in the game. So before I go and fight the next boss, which is going to be the old Dragon Rider, which is my favorite boss in this game, I'm going to go back to Majula and spend my souls to level myself up. Also, I forgot to mention, the one gigantic dude with the hammer that I fought, he actually gave me an item called a Sublime Bone Dust. Now this is actually really good, because what you can do with the Sublime Bone Dust is that if you burn it in the Fire, you actually will upgrade your Estus Flask, which increases the amount of HP that you restore with each use of your flask. Now it doesn't increase the amount of uses your flask has, but it does increase the amount of HP you restore, which is really nice. So, alright, so now that I've done that, you guys will notice I have an Estus Flask +1 now. And then I'm going to level my character up again. Because I usually can defeat the old dragon slayer the first time I fight him, but sometimes I mess up, and I just want to use my souls in case I get killed by him. That way, I won't actually lose a bunch of souls and then have to go chase them down later. So let's get my endurance up to 10, that sounds good, and then I want to increase my HP a bit, so I'm going to increase it to maybe 16. I like even numbers. I'm a little OCD about that. And then let's see. It would be kind of nice to have more strength, maybe like strength 20-ish. So we'll do that. And that's going to get me up to level 45. Okay, there we go. And by getting all those, that increase in HP, you guys will notice my HP bar has gotten at least a bit significantly bigger, which I think it looks bigger anyway. Obviously it increased in size. How much is kind of up to you guys, but an extra 100 HP can be pretty helpful. Resistances can definitely help you a lot in Dark Souls 2, but I always find that just getting more HP is always nice. Because, like, everything in Dark Souls 2 does lots of damage, no matter, like, what, essentially. Except for, like, early game mobs. So, sometimes I find that it's just best just to get a bunch of HP. At times, anyway. So, let's get rid of this guy really quickly. Oh, I messed up. I done messed up. Anyway, but still, he didn't manage to do much damage, so that's okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go fight the old Dragon Slayer. So to go and get him, typically I would fight all these guys, but I'm just going to skip through them, just because I don't really care about fighting them that. Actually, no, because I still have to put the drawbridge down, which is going to take some time, so now that I think about it, I probably should go for them. So I need this guy to kind of use his attacks for me, and 2 hits. Okay, good, he's down. Alright, so now that he's dead, let's go over and fight this guy really quickly. Do a 3-hit combo and get rid of him. There we go. It looks like the AI bugged out, so luckily I only have to really fight one head-on. At a time, anyway. Whoop. Hey buddy, you missed. Oh, I forgot those guys had a 4-hit combo. And let's see, I got a cracked blue-eye orb, that's good. I can use that to invade people. I can use that to invade people who have committed crimes in the game. Like if they betray their covenant that they're sworn to, or like they PK someone else from their covenant. I think those are both justifiable reasons to invade someone if they're guilty. Okay. I don't really know if I'm going to take any endeavors in PvP into this Let's Play. I probably won't. I actually really want to get to the DLC content, because I've already beaten the game once, like I said, but I haven't played through any of the DLC. I haven't done like the Ivory Tower, the Sunken Tower, or sorry, not the Ivory Tower, the Ivory Crown DLC, the Sunken Crown DLC. I haven't done any of that, and I kind of want to get to it, so hopefully we'll get to it. And probably the best way to get to it would be to actually just to skip PvP entirely and then just get straight to it. I always play Dark Souls 2 mainly for the PvE. I'm not a huge PvP player with this type of game. I do like some PvP role-playing games, but most of the time, ones like this where I believe they're kind of meant for single player, I usually play PvE. Now I do sometimes co-op with people, but in this playthrough I'm not going to be doing that at all, because in my last playthrough I actually co-opted with a couple friends of mine and did a bunch of the boss fights with my friends, which made things way too easy, because the game is already not that... it's not too difficult. So, in this playthrough especially, I just want to play by myself and try to beat everything by myself. Ooh. God, the tremors of this thing are real. Oh man. Alright, so up here is where we're going to be fighting my favorite boss, the old Dragon Slayer. Now, it is kind of, I don't think it's confirmed, but I think it's kind of like an internal controversy between the players of Dark Souls who have played the previous games, whether or not this guy is actually the incarnation of an older boss that's in one of, I think he's in Demon Souls, or whether or not he's actually like the real, or if he's just kind of like a poser because he's way too easy. I think he's technically supposed to be some guy called Orenstein from Demon Souls or from Dark Souls 1. If anyone's watching this and they remember, please let me know in the comments. But I think some players say he is Orenstein, some players say he's not. I think he's just freaking cool though. So he's got, his first attack is a glide attack, which I usually dodge, but I totally messed up there. Now this guy, like the Dragon Rider, the best way to get away from him and also survive his attacks is actually to stay as close as possible. And I totally messed up there. He may actually kill me. We'll see. Nope. I do a lot of damage, and luckily I have some nice amount of HP now. But yeah, he's pretty easy to dodge. I didn't say he was that difficult. The only difference is that he's got a lot of reach, and he also has some nice AoE attacks, and he's pretty fucking fast, as you guys can see. Woo! That was close. Uh-oh, crud, crud, crud. No, no, no. Have mercy. Come on, come on. Oh crap, he's gonna hit me. No, this is gonna hurt. Ow. Okay, so that's gonna be a AoE Vorpal attack that he has. And I'm gonna use a life gem really quickly to heal up. Okay, whew, thank god I managed to dodge him that time. Alright, now luckily that attack does have a very high recovery time, so you can usually get an attack in or two to fight him there. Come on, what you got, Orenstein? I'm just gonna call him Orenstein, because I think he is Orenstein, but you know, that's alright. Let's see, come on, what you got? But yeah, you pretty much just stay around him. I've noticed in Dark Souls 2, that's kind of like the strategy for all the bosses, is really like, stay as close as possible. There's maybe like 1 or 2 exceptions to that rule, but for most of them, you really just hug them, essentially. And then you just dodge their attacks, and then you just run. Oh, ho, ho. And that's his AoE Vorpal attack. He'll jump up in the air, fall on his butt, and then try to hit you with that huge attack. You just gotta try to get away as quickly as possible. Okay, now my one biggest fear in this game is that I always get way too cocky when the boss gets down in his HP, and that's usually when I end up dying. But I think I've got him. Yep, I do. Okay, so there we go. So that was the old Dragon Slayer. Not as impressive as the first time I fought him, because I had a lot more fun the first time I fought him. That was the second time I fought him, but that was still fun. Anyway. So, by killing him, I've actually managed to get his old Dragon Slayer soul. Now, I can't remember exactly what you can use the Dragon Slayer soul for. I may use it to get a weapon or piece of armor from him, but I need to remember, I need to jog my memory. I don't remember right now. I need to jog my memory what you can get using it, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So, that chest that was outside, I managed to get 5 human effigies from that, and then I also got a Ring of Binding. Now what the Ring of Binding does is that it limits your HP reduction when you're hollow. So basically while you're wearing this, if you die, you won't actually lose any HP because you're a hollow, which I talked about in the first video, which is a mechanic of the game. I also got the old Leo ring, which is kind of cool. It actually makes it so if you're using a thrust weapon and you use it and you counterattack with it, which is, so like if you have a weapon and all you have is that weapon, and what you do is you oh, there you go. If you counterattack someone, so like if you block at just the right time, you can actually do a massive amount of damage in a counter swing. And the old Leo ring makes it so you do more damage with that counter swing if you're using a thrust weapon like a spear or something like that. And obviously I'm not using a spear, so we'll hold on to the ring, but I'm not ever going to use it really. So let's open these chests here and see what we got. So we managed to get a Hide Knight Iron Mask and a Tower Shield. Now, the Hide Knight Iron Mask I actually like a lot, so I'll probably spend some Vitality to use it. You guys will notice that it does, by wearing it, I do lower my lightning resistance, but all of my other stats go up a pretty decent amount, especially my piercing resistance, which it goes up by a nice, like, almost 20 amount. A little bit less, but still, it's a nice amount, so I'm going to do it. It also actually increases my poison resistance, which is really important, and it also increases my poise, which makes me more resistant to being knocked down. It also looks cool. But at this point, you guys are probably never going to see my guy's face again, because I'll either be wearing this helmet all the time or another helmet. So I hope you guys like seeing my guy's baby face, because you are never going to see it. He's always going to be kind of like the dude clad in armor and the helmet. Now there is this guy right here. He's got some pretty cool armor, and he's got this nice halberd. Now this guy is actually the leader of the Covenant of the Blue Sentinels. Now to join his Covenant, what you have to do is that you have to... Actually, wait, no. What do you have to... Oh, shoot. I can't remember, actually.
This is no begone.
I think you have to do... You have to actually invade a certain amount of guilty players as a blue player. There's some kind of requirement for it. I will look it up later and talk about it in the next video. I'm sorry that I forgot. But he is the leader of, like, the higher Covenant that's kind of bound to your Covenant. So like when you're part of the Blue Covenant, the Way of the Blue Sentinels are actually the guys that come and defend you. So if you ever get invaded and you're part of the Way of the Blue Covenant, make sure to thank the guys who are part of the Blue Sentinels, because those are the guys that are defending you from the invaders. Alright, so I'm going to use a Homeward Bone and then just go back to the bonfire I rested at, because I'm too lazy to walk all the way back. But yeah, I can't... I thought I could remember what you have to do to join that Covenant, but I can't. If anyone remembers, just let me know in the comments below. I'll update the description of the video to talk about it later, but it's not that big of a deal. So after you defeat those two bosses, those are actually the only people you can fight. So once you defeat those two bosses in the Hyde Tower of Flame, you're done with that area. There's nothing else to do there. So let's go talk to the Emerald Herald and level up again. I'm gonna upgrade my vitality a little bit more, probably to like 20. That should give me enough to be under 70. I like that guy's armor. It's kind of cool. Let's see. Yep, 67.8. So my my equipment load is good. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's actually upgrade my strength to 20, and then I'm going to upgrade my dexterity to 16. You guys will notice I actually did get a tower shield recently. I kind of want to use it. Tower shields are kind of cool. They usually have a lot of physical resistances. I can't remember exactly what the stats are in this tower shield though. You do need 30 strength to wield it though, but it actually gives you a bunch more stability, which reduces the consumption of your stamina when you're taking attacks, so that's pretty good. It also increases all of your elemental resistances by a little bit, except for your magic and also your lightning. But, you know, the shield's actually kind of good. I may end up using it later. It also looks kind of cool. I won't end up using it right now because I don't have the stats to use it, but if you take a look, it's kind of cool. It's got like this little like sunburst on the side. It almost reminds me of the Martell sigil in Song of Ice and Fire, but it's pretty cool. But I don't have the stats to wield it right now, so we're going to use the Drangleic shield. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the end of this part, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this part too. Let's play Dark Souls 2, and join me next time for the next area in Dark Souls 2, which I believe is No Man's Wharf, which is kind of cool. So, hope you guys enjoyed this part. See you all again later.